Yo, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elmer, aka the Forklift Guy, and today we got a few things. We're gonna go look at this Toyota over here. We're at right there. We're at my dad's shop, and we're gonna take a look at this Toyota. The issue that it has is it used to be a shop forklift at a rental company, and it just stopped. It cut out one day and never started again. So I went and looked at it. A customer of mine bought it, and he wants, us to look at it and see if we can fix it. So we're gonna do that. We might have some other subjects, so stick around. Hope you learned something. We might be able to figure this out together. Let me know in the comments what you guys think the problem is, and yeah, thanks for following along. Back surgery 11's right here. Today's kind of a good day because it's not super sunny.
Yeah.
It's cloudy. It rained a little bit this morning. I'm about to get murked out here. Yeah. I might. Look at that.
Where?
Look at that insect.
What you got there, bro?
Just got the little old bare necessities.
Yeah.
Just in case I gotta take something off. Alright, so basically we have to figure out why there's no spark. There's no power getting to the distributor. It seems like a wire harness issue, right? So he took it to the dealer, and the dealer said that, to replace the harness. So they brought it here, and then we're gonna just double check. It probably seems like it does need one, but we're gonna check to see if maybe it's something simple that we can find, or it is, let's say the harness is corroded or something internally, going to both the computer down here, the SAS controller. Double check everything before we say, hey, yeah, we gotta spend $1,200 or whatever on a harness. Take all the covers off, take everything that gets in the way, because the connector for the distributor is way tucked in there. It's so annoying to get to. So we're just gonna take everything that's kind of in the way, battery cover, everything. All these covers off, everything. We want access to the harness from the SAS to here. There's panels here, panels here, panels here, computer box here with the relays. I got some wires that are cut here. So this could be, I don't know. Let's just start taking stuff apart. So the ECU passes through an EFI main relay. So we're just checking to make sure that relay is essentially just checking everything from the fuse box down, and if everything kind of checks out until the up to the ECU, and the ECU going out, it might just be a bad harness where somewhere between here to the SAS or here to the distributor, there's no 12 volts getting to the distributor, but there's continuity. So that's like the weird part, right? If there wasn't a harness issue, there'd be no continuity going to the distributor. That means a wire spliced somewhere. I think it might be a problem where I think it's a power connection issue, not, and that might be solved with the new harness. Who knows? Yeah. Trying to see if we can avoid that is what we're trying to get at. Because a new harness, you can just slap it on, right? But it's like $1,200, $1,500. You could save yourself some money if you find where the issue is first. Soldering to join that fuse because it's blown. So this is the distributor cap. Look at that in there. So if you notice, see that part right there? That's your point. That's where your rotor. This part. Look even the rotor. You see it right there?
Yeah.
Look at that. There's no way electricity can be passed through the distributor from the pickup coil. So all that's corrosion. It might be that somehow water got into this or over years of sitting. I don't know. Giving power to the EF1 main leg, which is the 31, that sends power to the rest of the unit, and to see if it's got spark, and it still doesn't have spark.
Dale el arranque. Dale el arranque.
When we were testing before, the 15 amp fuse wasn't there, and then when he put that in, you know, we finally got the dash to turn on, but it's still not making a trrr noise that it always, like all 8 series make that when you turn the key switch on. And this relay is working, so essentially what we were doing was this relay has a hot, right, which is 30, has a ground, hot, I think 30 is this one, so is this one. You got power going to this leg, which is, sorry, power going to this leg. You got your ground, and then it gives off power to this one, right? So if I got power here, which is this one, and then I turn the key switch on, I should get power here, which is over here, and then that goes to your rest of your, which now it does have power. Before it didn't. We put that fuse in, now there is power, but for some reason there's still no spark. That's the next step. Try to get spark. Once we get spark, the next step is try to get fuel. Once we got fuel, it should turn on. So will a harness solve this issue? Could be. Could be something in between. You know, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So just going step by step. You can't really rush these kind of things. Sometimes they take long. Sometimes they're not. You just have to go step by step, and just kind of knock off the list type things. The next step that we're on now, we finally got power to the distributor on this plug here.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
Now it's got a plug going in, right? When you turn the key switch on, you get 12 volts.
Yeah.
Then there's another plug that goes to your pickup coil for your actual distributor. So voltage is going into the distributor, and it's not passing through the pickup coil for some reason. You know, the other plug. So that's the next step. Could be that the distributor is bad, and that's why you got no spark.
Yeah.
There's no spark going to the spark plug here. If that stays the same, could be a pickup coil issue. Could also be that the distributor itself is bad.
Yeah.
You know, we'll yank it out, put a used one in for the meantime, see if we get spark. Once we have spark, that's kind of like the hardest job, to be honest. From there, we'll put the LPG tank line back in here. Put your LP hose back in through your fuel rail. See if it starts, or we can just put some starter fluid in the air cleaner, and see if it cranks over. So I think we're almost there. My dad had laying around to test, you know, to bypass the other distributor, see if it was bad, and plugged it in. Still no spark, even though we're getting 12 volts to here. It's getting no spark through the actual distributor, through the pickup coil. But it is sending signal every time you turn this, right? This is when you crank the engine, it goes on a gear on your camshaft, right? When you do this, it's sending current to the injectors, and that's where you hear that tick, 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 tick sound. But it's not sending spark through here. So you test it outside. You put your ground and then your positive to here. This goes to your positive, ground to anywhere here, like here or here, and then you just spin this, and you should get spark either to number 4 or number 1, no matter. And if you don't, then this is bad. You got your positive here, that goes to here, and then your ground goes to here. Alright, so basically what we've kind of come down to is one or two things, the distributor or the ECU, and I'll tell you why. Because over here, we got this plug here, right? This red and green cable.
Yeah.
This red and green cable is the other plug from the distributor in the back. So you got one plug going in and the other one coming out of the distributor, or going in as well, one of the two. But it is getting 12 volts to the distributor. But you follow these cables here, this green and red cable, you follow it all through here, all the way back. It's this green and red cable right here. And it goes to your ECU. And so we just check continuity from here to there, and we got continuity. So that leads me to believe, or leads us to believe, that the wire harness is good. And potentially the ECU is bad. because I'm not exactly sure. You guys, you Toyota guys in the comments, let me know if the ECU needs to receive a signal from the distributor or vice versa in order to send spark with the pickup coil or with the coil inside the distributor. I'm not sure yet. So we've got a couple more. My dad's trying to see if he can find a used one somewhere. If he can, then we'll swap it out real quick. If not, then we might have to bite the bullet and get another ECU.
Yeah. How much is the ECU?
I've replaced them before. They're $1,200. These here for like a different machine that I replaced it on, I think it might have been like 800 something, 700 something, OEM. So we'll let you guys know at the end of the video. Check it out. So I can just go. You can go. Let me fix this real quick. Let me work on these brakes real quick. You need something? And this one's the same. It's just on a wooden platform, so it's taller. So when you want to go on the engine stuff, and then this is more from like, you know, steering stuff, brake stuff. There was another fuse on the fuse panel that we didn't see. It was ECU B, and that was missing a fuse. Once we put that one in, we finally got codes again. And the main code that it's throwing is E09-1, which is ignition signal loss. What I looked up online, it seems like there's an igniter underneath the battery for the distributor. Maybe that's bad. It sees the signal loss from the computer, and so it throws that code and it doesn't let you start. Seems like it. Or there's a bad ground somewhere, but we're getting places.
Yeah.
We finally got codes, dash working, everything else working, steps. This is the igniter right here.
Yeah, there you go.
It even says it on there, igniter. That, look at all that. And this was covered in who knows what. I don't know.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I want to see.
Got it?
Yeah.
What?
See.
Well, this took all day. We've been here since 10 a.m. It's 5:47.
Yeah.
And we swapped ECU. We checked harness completely. We checked with a different distributor. You know, we checked everything. Ended up being that the igniter, which is down here, which I showed you.
Yeah.
I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
This is the old one. I think the whole problem was the igniter. But there was also a bunch of corrosion all over here on the base of this igniter. I think it receives its ground through the base with the two mountain bolts. And thanks to, you know, I was Googling that code, and someone on the Forklift Action forum said to check the igniter, or it's a harness issue, which we've been saying since the beginning. We took the battery out. My dad had another one up there laying around. Popped it in. No more code. We finally got spark, which we didn't have. No one was able to get spark. And I think the dealer said to throw a harness at it because they probably had that code before, 09-1, which is ignition signal loss. Maybe they've had that code before and it's always worked by throwing a harness at it.
Yeah.
That's it for today. I hope you guys all learned something. I learned a lot today. David learned a lot today. Shout out my dad. He's probably the smartest guy I know when it comes to these things. So, you know, it also helps a lot when you got two people working on the same thing. You know, two minds working on one issue. Which, you know, it's not that the dealer was wrong, but they spent 1 hour, probably less, than looking at it, and then they said, you know, I needed a harness. It might have. I don't think it ever did. As you well watching the as you've seen in the video, it didn't need a harness. We just had to start from step 1 and go all the way down the line. We always like to check everything before we decide to throw a harness at it. But again, not saying the dealer was wrong, but we figured it out without having to spend that much money. And yeah, shout out my dad. Anyways, leave a comment if you guys learned something, or anything you suggest, leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, Instagram, TikTok, anything like that. Follow me. Yeah, have a good day. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We will be dropping a video at some point, probably next month, on how to start your mobile forklift or heavy equipment business in 2025. So stay tuned for that. We'll put it together probably next month. So this month's almost over anyways. Okay, bye.